everybody, Max here from MaksPlayground, and welcome to a Sims 2 Pleasantview Sims tier list. One of those lists where you rank from top to the worst, from the best to the worst, the top to the bottom, way you feel about certain things. Now, we are doing a Sims 2 one for Pleasantview, the Sims 2 pre-mades for Pleasantview. Now, if you guys haven't seen one of these videos before, a couple other simmers and that I know on YouTube did them. I know my friend Sarah, who's the one who suggested me doing this. My friend Cindy did this. I know that some people on Twitter have done this, and some people in the Sims 2 Facebook groups that have done this as well. So I am going to go over my favorites, why they're my favorites, and some of the things that I have going on in my game, my current playthrough of Pleasantview. So yeah, let's get started. The ranks are my favorites, A-listers, they're okay, meh, and send to the Grim Reaper, which I'm sure you guys can kind of understand, top to bottom. Yeah, so let's get started. We are going to do Lilith. She is my absolute favorite sim of all time. I love her. I feel like Lilith is one of the most misunderstood sims in in my game. She's not perfect. She's not a good sim, but she's not a terrible sim. She doesn't do terrible things. Well, I may have gotten her pregnant with Dustin at a party that nobody knows about, and she may have gotten kicked out of her house and is living with Dirk. I may have told Dirk that she's pregnant. So it's kind of bad, but I still love her. I love her. I love her style. She's like that grungy, like punk style. So yeah, I love Lilith. I know she's a fan favorite. So that's why Lilith is one of my absolute adored sims. I love her. I always love giving her makeovers and making her look super badass and stuff like that. Now her sister, her twin sister Angela, we can send her to the Grim Reaper. I do not like Angela. I have never liked Angela. Since I was a little girl, I have never liked Angela. She is a biatch. She's in my game. I have her set up to have a lot of bad things happen to her, in that sense, like she thinks that she's gonna get away with stuff. She thinks she knows what she's doing, but in reality, the bad things are gonna happen to her. She's gonna get kicked off the school cheerleading squad. She is going to get fired from her job. She's not gonna get accepted into university at first. She's gonna fail. She's kind of like everyone thinks she's gonna be this good sim, and this she's gonna make everybody proud. But in reality, she's gonna learn the hard way, and maybe because of that, she'll end up being a good sim. She also kind of is holding out for Dustin, which is what causes Dustin to cheat on her. So there's that. Now, Daniel Pleasant, we're gonna send him to the Grim Reaper. I don't like Daniel Pleasant. The only redeeming quality, and give this video a thumbs up if you agree, the only redeeming quality about Daniel Pleasant is that he cares about his children. Otherwise, I don't know what happened to him. I loved playing him in The Sims 1, but I don't know what happened. He grew up, he got a taste of women, and he loves it. He's cheating on his wife. Mind you, he did try to, fix things with his wife, but that's a whole other story. He's scandalizing with Kaylin. He's scandalizing with Nina Caliente in my game, and Kaylin Langerak. He may have gotten Kaylin Langerak pregnant. I don't know, but yeah, he's a very big sleazebag in my gameplay. He's also kind of clueless too, but he really cares about his wife. He cares about his wife. He cares about his daughters. That's the one thing I love about Daniel. Now, Mary Sue, she's between Send to the Grim Reaper and meh. I feel bad for Mary Sue just because she's not a bad person, but she just doesn't do well with pressure, and she's kind of ignoring her family life while like her daughters tear each other apart. She doesn't have a good relationship with Lilith because she sees Lilith and she sees that she's getting bad grades. She doesn't ask how she's doing, all that stuff. She sees what she wears. She picks on her for that. And she also doesn't really care about her marriage. She just wants her career. She wants to be mayor. She's currently running for mayor. So she's like, you guys have to be perfect. We can't have any scandals. And, you know, she sees Daniel. Well, the sun's like really bright, and sorry about that. She sees Daniel, and she's kind of ignoring it. She knows that there's something going on, but she ignores it. She also has kind of a rocky relationship right now with her mom, who's always constantly trying to warn her, which is Coral, which I'll talk about after. She has a rocky relationship with her mother. Bo broke, meh. I don't really have a lot of plans for Bo as of right now. I feel like Bo is just gonna try to be better than, like, a better person than his brother. He's gonna try to be like, you know, he wants to help his mom, and he looked up to his brother until he realized his brother just wasn't really a good person. You know, his brother kind of let him down. He doesn't have a dad. He has no idea what his dad was like. He's just kind of lost. He's kind of lost. But sometimes I make him marry again with Lucy, and sometimes I have Lucy just kind of have an affair with him. But yeah, that's my thing with Bo. He's still just a toddler though, so you know. Darren is a big meh for me. I don't really like Darren that much. I mean, I should put him in. Oh, he's okay. He's okay. He's not bad. You know, he really cares about Cassandra. He really cares about Cassandra. In my game, I mostly just have him, like, paint pictures of every family. He's kind of like the town painter. And in my current playthrough, he's kind of owes money to Malcolm. He borrowed money from Malcolm Landgrab to get his business off the, like, you know, his little art gallery off the ground. He did lose his wife, and, you know, that's why, like, he sees what Cassandra's going through, and he's so frustrated. He hates Dawn, and he's trying to warn her, but she won't listen to him because she's so infatuated with Dawn. So yeah, that's kind of Darren Dreamer. Now, Herb, he's a big meh for me. I don't really like Herb Oldie. He's kind of reminds me of, like, that creepy old guy that, like, checks out young girls and, like, younger women, and he kind of has, like, an inflated ego about that. Maybe he loves his daughter and stuff like that, but he doesn't really appreciate what he has, and possibly has a gambling problem. That's something that I was thinking of him bringing in, is he would have a gambling problem. He's addicted to gambling, and because of that, he doesn't have the best financial situation, where Coral is the one that has been like, you know, saving the money and making sure things are, you know, like, being the one that has to be in charge and take lead and stuff like that. So I'm not really a fan of Herb. He's kind of like meh. I don't really care about him that much. Dustin, they're okay. He's okay because he's crucial in my storyline. He's kind of one of those Sims that, like, he knows what he has to do, but he wants to take the easy way out all the time. And he's kind of at a crossroads where he knows his life can really change if he takes the easy way out. And if he goes and officially, like, gets involved in the criminal organization that's going on. And he's a bad boy. And he's dating Angela because he loves, like, that. He feels like there's, like, that pureness to her, and that, like, that angelicness to her, like that goody girl. But he really, really, really likes Lilith, and he's good friends with Dirk, so he's been respectful, but it's been very tempting. And Lilith is kind of a flirt, so she kind of does it to bother Angela, whereas, you know, and then something happens, right? They're at a party, one thing leads to another, and he gets her pregnant. So that's kind of how I have it in my game right now. That's the story and plan I have for these two. So he's okay. He's okay. Same with Alexander Goth. He's okay. I feel like Alex is kind of lost, and like he doesn't, with like his mom disappearing and hearing all kinds of rumors, he's very impressionable and lost, but he's discovering things about the disappearance of his mom due to certain people around town. And he's trying to tell his sister, he tries to tell his dad, but nobody listened to him. And Lucy has been by his side through everything, whose dad is a cop that's working on the case. So hopefully stuff that Alex is discovering, he's also starting to question like his sexuality. He's like 12, 13, you know, he's starting to question like his existence and where his place is in the world. So Alex is just like, he's okay. He's not my favorite sim. You know, he's not my least favorite sim. Cassandra, she's okay. Cassandra's very stubborn and very set in her ways. She's a daddy's girl. She knows, like, she understands her privilege. She's a good sim, but she's very focused on her career and getting her things going with, like, Dawn. She is infatuated with Dawn. She loves Dawn. She's so excited to be Dawn's wife because she feels like she tamed him. So that's kind of how I see Cassandra. Again, she had a really weird relationship with her mom. Her mom used to like kind of push things on her that she wasn't comfortable with. But yeah, Coral's kind of meh too. I haven't really played a lot with Coral. In my game, I have her as a witch. I have her as she's a good witch, and she's trying to pass that magic down to her granddaughters. Because her daughter Mary Sue was like, I don't want any part in this. Leave my family, like leave my daughters out of this. But her daughters have kind of noticed it, and her daughters, Lilith especially wants to learn magic to use it because she wants to study dark magic. Where Coral's constantly trying to encourage her to be a good witch, trying to be good, and and she wants her granddaughters to eventually become amends. And she's constantly trying to remind Mary Sue, like, you need to focus on your family's falling apart, and that's why they have a rocky relationship. They're not super close. So that's kind of how I feel about Coral Oldie. Now, Dirk is, they're okay. I feel like Dirk is Lilith's punching bag. He loves Lilith. He wants what's best for Lilith. He listens to her, whereas she's been there for him through the loss of his mom and things like that when they were growing up as kids. And they just have a really solid relationship, or so he thinks. He's a good boy. He's a very good boy. And that's why Lilith kind of grounds her. And he also takes her in after she gets kicked out of her parents' house, is how I'm going to play this. When Lilith tells him that she's pregnant, she doesn't tell him that she cheated on her. She cheated on him. So he's kind of like, oh my God, I'm going to be a dad. And he has all this pressure. He thinks like, I have to do good in school. I have to get to university. I have to be able to support my family. So there's going to be an interesting playthrough with them. I'm excited to get to that. It's kind of all the plans I have in my head. And yeah. So Brandy, she's meh. She's kind of a meh for me. I feel like Brandy's a very good sim. She's good. She's not a huge role in my playthrough. She's kind of like plays the role of like a concerned mother in my version of this Pleasantview that I have. She's always concerned about her kids. She really wants, like, she realizes that, she's not in the best financial situation. She wants to start a bakery. She's not, but, and she's still really heartbroken about Skip dying, and the fact that, she's pregnant, and kind of thinking of having her get, like, like the father be somebody else. Like, she had a one-night stand. Sometimes I have her have one-night stands with Malcolm Landgrab. Sometimes I have her get married to Darren. Sometimes I have her get pregnant by Dawn. So it's a couple of different ways I can get her to go. I'm not entirely sure. How do you guys play Brandy? I always want to know how you guys are playing all of these different Sims. Let me know how you guys play Pleasantview in the comments below. So we're going to continue on. Jennifer Burb is an A-lister. I love Jennifer Burb just because of, like, she really just cares about her family, and those are, like, her career. She cares about herself and her family and getting ahead. But she's not like a bad sim. She's not selfish. She's just very focused on her family and her career, and trying to keep her brother out of trouble. She only moved to Pleasantview because her husband got transferred, as well as she wanted to make sure her brother wasn't up to no good. She knows the kind of games that her brother plays. She knows what is on the line. So that's kind of how I see, Jennifer. I know she wants to have more kids, stuff like that. Lucy is also an A-lister. I love Lucy. She ends up becoming the prettiest sim in Pleasantview, I feel, of the playables. She's super supportive of Alex. She really cares about Alex. She also is a little bit of a trickster and a prankster. Sometimes I have her have an affair when she's married to Alex, have an affair with Beau. Sometimes I have her just like go to university and marry one of the university townies. For her plan is she's the one who's going to give the news to her dad, the things that she's finding out and overhearing when she's with Alex. And hopefully that'll set and open up more of the case for Bella. So moving on to Bella, she's not my favorite. She's an A-lister. I know the Goth family is iconic, but she's not my favorite sim in the gameplay that I'm doing right now. She's a witch in my gameplay. If you guys haven't watched my newest video that I posted for renovating Strangetown, I renovated all of Spectre's house, and I did talk about Bella Goth and her involvement with Strangetown. Now, she means well. She's a very controlling woman, and it kind of she feels like it's gotten her in trouble, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. So she's in Strangetown right now in my game, and trying to figure out what's happening. So yeah, she's not my favorite sim though. Her and Mortimer's relationship was a little bit rocky before before she went missing. But she's not bad. She's just meh. She's not my favorite goth, to say the least. John is an A-lister as well. The whole Burb family essentially is A-listing. I love John Burb. He moved to Pleasantview to be a cop because Mortimer asked him to be assigned to the case. They were living in Sim City. He uprooted his family to go be familiar, because he's familiar with all these Sims. He knows a lot of them because he grew up with a lot of them. He loves his wife. He loves his daughter. He wants more kids. He loves gardening and things like that. But he is a cop, and he really wants to crack this case with Bella because he is finding that it's taking up too much time taking away from his responsibilities as a dad and as a husband. So he doesn't want Lucy to get involved, but he's delighted that Lucy is coming to him with these things. He's delighted that she's, being there for Alex, and but he's not telling Jennifer about this. So he's keeping it to himself until he has enough evidence to maybe see who it is that is making him that is responsible for Bella's disappearance. Now, Nina, I like Nina. She's one of my favorite Sims because Nina, she represents what a lot of different things. Like, Nina is obsessed with one thing and one thing only, and that's getting Dawn. And she's kind of like, in her other exploits, she's kind of really selfish, and she'll do whatever she needs to do to get Dawn. She's very competitive with other women, and she's very insecure. And she's been used by Dawn so many times that she's like convinced that he loves her and he's gonna come back to her and then he's gonna give her a child. But on the side, she's also sleeping with Daniel Pleasant because she thinks that'll make Dawn jealous. She's using Daniel to make Dawn jealous, thinking that Dawn, because she overheard Dawn talking about what do people see in him, she absolutely hates Brandy. She loves Brandy. She absolutely hates Cassandra. She hates Kaylin. She hates all of those Sims that are her competition for Dawn. She doesn't understand why Dawn's with Cassandra. She knows it's just for his money. She even competes with her sister. So I love Nina though, because she does have like a youthful heart, and she really cares about like herself, and like she wants a family, but she doesn't care how she goes about doing it. Mortimer is my favorite because Mortimer Goth, he's old money, he's great, he's super old and just cute, and he wants to see the best in people. He doesn't want to believe that his wife was maliciously murdered. He's okay with accepting that maybe she left him. But even though he loves her and he cares about her and he wants her, he loves his daughter and his son. He wants what's best. He even wants another child, which is why he's leaning a little bit more to the liking of Dina, who's been around for him. Dina, on the other hand, is also one of my favorites. She should be down here, but the reason why she isn't is because Dina is my favorite villain. Dina is scheming. She is conniving. She'll do whatever it takes to get what she needs to do to like complete her plan. She's an awful person, but she's really stupid. Like, she thinks she's foolproof, but she's not. She thinks she's like cold-hearted, but she does have her weaknesses. And she's also so worried about people finding out that she's the one that's responsible for Bella's disappearance. That is what's really interesting. And again, she'll use anybody that she needs to use, including Dawn, who she's like, I don't need you, even though Dawn will like give eyes to her. She's like, I don't need you, you're nothing, etc., etc. I like Dawn though. I mean, I like Dina though. She's one of my favorites. She's my favorite villain. She's one of those Sims that everybody loves to hate. Now, as for Don Lothario, again, he goes up in my favorites. He's kind of like, he's an A-lister. He's one of my favorites, but he's also an A-lister because he's a sleazebag. He's a sleazebag, but he's also goofy, and he's an F-boy. He's goofy. He thinks he's charming, and he doesn't see why the women who do refuse him. He keeps Nina in his back pocket. He really does give a crap about Kaylin, though, and when he found out that Kaylin was sleeping with Daniel, he was really hurt by it, and that's like why he doesn't understand what people see in him, or see in Daniel. Like, he doesn't understand why people like Daniel besides like money, but he also uses Kaylin, and he uses Nina, and he uses all his other exploits, and he feels like Nina is just always gonna be there for him at the end of the day, whereas with Kaylin, he's a little bit afraid because Kaylin's fragile and cute, and he just sees Kaylin as like innocent, and he doesn't want to like hurt her, even though he knows that he is. Whereas Nina knows Dawn's games and still chases him, and he's like, But Dawn also has like Cassandra, and he's like, he knows he loves Cassandra, but he doesn't really want to be married to her, and he's just staying with her because of the money. He's staying with her because of the money. Sorry, I just got scared. My boyfriend just like walked in after work. Oh goodness. He stays with her because of the money and the goth name, and because he kind of knows some of what happened to Bella, and he needs to keep a close eye on that whole situation. Now, for the last sim, that's my absolute favorite sim. If you guys have watched my videos before, you know I love Kaylin Langerak. Kaylin is like just my absolute favorite sim. She is she's not really innocent, but she's like naive, and she's nice, and she wants to see the best in everyone, kind of like Mortimer, but she is holding out for Daniel Pleasant, and in my game, I got her pregnant by Daniel. She is devastated that she's the one that's like, the other woman, whereas she also knows she's the other woman with Dawn too. But she goes to Dawn because she just feels like she's close to Dawn and she can confide in Dawn, and Dawn kind of manipulates her, and because she's so naive and she believes what she wants to believe what he's saying. So I hope you guys did enjoy my tier list. I will be making more in the future for the other neighborhoods. And so if you did, give it a big thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye, guys!